Hey guys, Marsengen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to talk about the Red Coin Shop that obviously has been updated with the release of the Dual Dokkan Fest for Golden Week. There's quite a few useful TURs on here, but the big thing, I know a lot of people have been very much waiting for this moment, highly anticipated, the first return and therefore the first time being available with red coins. We have the physical LR Ultimate Gohan and the tech LR Power Awakened Piccolo, and these two units are, you know, still considered to be quite high in the overall like tier lists of most people. Now, Gohan is a very divisive unit, but he is good, right? He's still like a top tier unit. He could have been better. He can be wonky sometimes, but he is good. I always feel like he's been simultaneously underrated and overrated. Like, the people that didn't like him when he came out acted like he was terrible, and the people that loved him when he came out acted like he was the best unit in the game. When the truth is that it's like somewhere in between there, obviously, but still leaning towards the upper end of the scale. So very quickly looking at the other units in case anyone is interested. When it comes down to the other TURs, I don't know if I would recommend any of these guys with coins. Like, if you don't have them and you want to pick up your first copy, I mean, the STR Goku and Gohan, if nothing else, their leader skill is very good, right? Their team, Goku Family and Super Saiyans, very good. The extra 30% is only to Android/Cell Saga, so it's not the best, like, full 200% team, but they have so many options for the units that you can use that they definitely are good. And I think the unit is good. They're just, now with events being a lot shorter, they really can sort of get caught out. AGL Cell is still good. His team never got the, like, super good slot 1 unit that links up super well with him that it really wanted. So Cell himself can be really good in the right situations, but he's unfortunately lacking some of the help that he needs. Funny, isn't it, that Dokkan not properly supporting their extreme unit releases? That never happens. And then Goku and Kid Buu. Kid Buu's in the same boat. I mean, Kid Buu is very good. Doesn't have... he has a 200% team, but none of the other Majin Buu characters are on it. It's only the Kid Buu's. He still desperately needs like a really good partner with a 200% team. And then I feel like he could put in some work, but starting to get a little bit outdated now. And then same with the Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Can still put out a ton of damage, but unfortunately, because his defense is almost completely RNG based, like it depends on whether you get those additional supers or not, he definitely can get caught out in the harder content. Tech Ultimate Gohan, still good, even though, you know, early on in the tough events, he will take a bit of damage, but he's still very usable. AGL Metal Cooler, I mean, when he came out last year, almost a full year ago, the worldwide download celebration, when his EZA came out, I should specify, he definitely was underrated. I thought he was very good. He can still be okay now, but he really needs to get built up as quickly as possible. Otherwise, he can be a liability defensively. PICCOLO is a very funny unit. I've seen a lot of the showcases and tweets recently of people using his team to do some funny stuff, because his leader skill, Connected Hope, he has both of the 8-year LRs as well as some other crazy good units. And with his Ghost Usher ability, he can still be very powerful. He was one of the first quote-unquote cheat code units that people were using to beat Cell Max when that event dropped, because that Ghost Usher ability is so powerful, and he's providing support. Janemba, still pretty much a staple on the extreme teams that he's on. If you get the orbs, he not only has guard, but he has damage reduction and provides support. Very good. Int Kid Goku, decent with his EZA, probably low on the list of units I would recommend getting, just because the physical path to power Kid Goku is so much better. And then the STR Cooler, he can still be pretty good on the teams that he is, you know, used on. But again, early on, if he's not getting a lot of stacks, he can get caught out. But the main event is Piccolo and Gohan. So before I go into the details of the unit, just to make it very clear, when it comes to red coins, it's something that people ask me about all the time. People ask me on streams, on comments of the videos, on Twitter, whether they should buy a unit with coins or not. And the thing that I think it always comes down to, first of all, if you want a unit and you want to buy them with your red coins, you know, they're your red coins. If you want that unit, then go for it. That's what the coins are for. But there are a couple of things that you need to take into account. And it's not just, like, should I buy this unit because, like, are they good or not? The key question and the key thing is, because this is why this question is difficult to answer sometimes, because it's different for everyone. If you summon a lot, you will obviously get a lot of coins. So for you, it's a little bit easier to decide to drop coins on a unit because you know that you're going to restock them at a fairly quick rate. If you're someone who's free to play or doesn't spend very much, then obviously you don't summon anywhere near as much, so it's more difficult to get coins. So making the decision to drop like 500 coins on a unit, you might not get back up to 500 coins for another like 6 months or something, right? So you do have to decide very carefully what to do. Now, units like the STR LR Cooler and the AGL LR Super Saiyans are obviously units that I know people have in their sights, because Dokkan Fest LRs obviously always worth picking up if you don't have them. But their first return is on the anniversary banners, and chances are you should at least have been saving at least some, will be summoning going in on the anniversary banners, right? So the chances are you may pull them during that time anyway. So this is where it's a tricky decision, because if you choose not to buy the units now and you save your red coins for the anniversary, you might get super lucky and pull tons of copies of, like, say it's Cooler that you want, you might pull like 3 copies of him in a very small amount of stones, and then you'll be a little bit annoyed that you saved your coins. So there is never really a clear-cut answer. But when it comes down to Gohan and Piccolo, I do absolutely think that they are worth getting with coins if you don't have them. Let me switch over to the wiki view here and we can actually look at the unit details. I'm sure most of you guys know what they do, but we'll bring them up on the screen here. So Gohan, leader skill, he's got Hybrid Saiyans as a lead, and Bond of Parent and Child covers most of the Hybrid Saiyans, if not all of them. So he's a very good 200% leader for a Hybrid Saiyan team. Now, his main issue that people, you know, why people call him a bad unit, he doesn't have a lot of key links, and his main one is Shocking Speed, which is not one that's shared by a lot of the other units on his team. And then one of the most egregious things about his passive is the when he gets 20 key, he only has a great chance to do an additional super. And he released after units like the anniversary LRs from the 7-year, who when they get 20 key, they get a guaranteed additional super. And that minor change would make this guy, like, way better. But the thing is, as somebody who, now when I summoned when these original banners came out, I got both of these guys to 79%. And I've always thought Gohan can be good. If you don't have to completely build the team around him, but as long as you give him like a good link partner, you've got some supports on the team, getting the 20 key isn't difficult as long as you don't get horribly screwed over by the orb field. And then it just kind of comes down to RNG, right? Like if his first 2 rotations in a row, you get 20 key, but you don't get the additional super, then obviously he's not going to build up as quickly, because he needs to super attack to build up his passive, and he needs to super attack 5 times. So every time you miss that additional, it definitely can hurt. But once he gets fully built up, he's actually crazy. Like, I think I used him in a video recently. I used coins to pick up the last copy I needed of Piccolo. I pulled the last copies of Gohan I needed when summoning. And this guy's hitting like 17 million attack. And then when he's doing his additional, which is obviously only the 12 key, he's still doing like 11 or 12 mil. His defense after supering is insanely high. He's effective against all types if you get to 24 key. And then on the turn where he uses active skill, he actually gets all of these buffs. So he gets the chance to additional super and effective against all types, regardless of how much key you get for him, if you use the active skill, which greatly raises attack, ultimate damage, disables enemy action. Now, people have complained about how hard the super attack hits. Really, you want to use it when he's fully built up. And so the problem can be if you are missing those additional supers early on, it obviously takes longer for him to get built up. So if you're missing those additional supers and then you just use the active skill straight away as soon as it can be used, obviously it's not going to hit as hard. But I definitely think this guy is very good. He's got on a lot of new good partners and teams. He's on the 200% team for the new Goku because he is on Battle of Fate. So I do think that Gohan is very good. And then when it comes to Piccolo, I mean, as the phrase goes, he is him. Like, he is just so good. When he came out, I was on the train for him being the best unit in the game. It's probably not the case anymore, but he's definitely still up in that highest tier. He is just crazy, right? Get hit a bunch of times early on, and he gets built up so quickly he can tank, like, literally everything. He has guard for 3 turns, so if you get him on his first turn, and as long as you don't float him off in slot 3, he has guard for his first 2 appearances. That gives you the opportunity to get him fully built up, and then his defense is absolutely ridiculous, and his attack stats can still be very good as well. Because we finally got a Piccolo with a new name, you can link him up with the STR Piccolo, and not only do they share links, but the STR Piccolo obviously supports. I think it was a video that I've put up, I don't know if it was the Broly, Red Zone Broly run with the Tech Goku, but this Piccolo fully built up with his entrance animation buff still active, because he gets an extra 100% attack and defense in those first 2 appearances. He got fully built up by getting hit by attacks in slot 1 on that second appearance. So fully built up, entrance animation buff still active, linked with STR Piccolo, no extra support unit in slot 3, and he dropped a 19 million attack stat. So he does that on top of being an incredibly good defensive unit. And the thing is, I talk about it a lot in my videos. You guys will know if you've seen runs I've done using him. One of the things people don't talk about enough that I think is really good for a unit that you very often run in slot 1 is this all allies key +2 within the same turn after receiving an attack. This is huge. Like, even when they first came out, because you can run them on each other's teams, if you run Piccolo in slot 1 and Gohan on slot 2, you actually only have to get Gohan to 18 key, because then when Piccolo gets hit, he gives him 2 more and he gets to 20. So that can be really, really useful. Like, if, say, you want to save orbs for the unit in slot 3, maybe you're running in with STR Piccolo. I know from experience, unless the unit in slot 3 is giving extra key, STR Piccolo needs 3 key to super when linked up with this guy. So really, he only needs 1, which is literally the bare minimum you can get anyway. And then Piccolo gets hit, gives him 2 key, and then boom, he super attacks. So if you want to be able to save the orbs for the unit in slot 3, maybe it's physical path to power Kid Goku, and you want him to get 7 orbs to get the damage reduction, it means that the Piccolo in slot 2 literally only needs 1 orb to super. So this guy's absolutely insane. And then, this very rarely procs, but if HP is 30% or less at the start of a character's attacking turn, because it's quite hard to get that low, since bosses usually hit so hard that you're either dying or being a little bit above this, right? But if you drop to 30% or less HP after you've received 7 attacks, not only does he fully heal you, he gets an additional 30% damage reduction. I've only ever had this happen a couple of times, but one of the runs where I've had this happen was against the Red Zone Metal Cooler Core, and Piccolo essentially becomes invincible once that goes off. So he is absolutely crazy. He's really, really good. He's on a ton of really good teams, a lot of good categories. Because he's technically still the Piccolo fused with Kami, right, and Nail, he's on Fused Fighters, he's on Battle of Fate, and of course all Piccolos are on Warriors Raised on Earth, so he's on the new Goku's 200% leader skill as well. He's on Power of Wishes, which is of course one of the categories introduced with the anniversary. Like, this guy is just crazy. If you had to pick one of the two, unless you are a full-on Hybrids or Goku family enjoyer and that's the main team you run, like, this Piccolo is the one you would get out of the two, I think. If I had to say, if I had to give you my opinion, if you could only get one of the two, I would get Piccolo, unless all of the teams you run would benefit more from Gohan than they would from Piccolo. Because even though he doesn't have all the same links as a lot of the other Saiyan units, he does have some of these great links, like All in the Family, which at level 10 is obviously 20% defense. He has Saiyan Warrior Race, he has Kamehameha, so he is very good, but I think if I just had to compare them in a vacuum, Piccolo is better. But let me know what you guys think down below. Are you still deciding what to do with your red coins? Did you already make a decision? Are you saving up for something else? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you did pick one of these guys up, who was it? Let me know what you think down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.